Students, exercise 8.3 of chapter 8 comparing quantity deals with the application of compound interest. So before learning about compound interest, first we should know what is interest. Interest is the extra money paid by any institution like bank or post office on the money deposited with them, or if we borrow any money, any amount from the bank, they also charge interest. So it is that extra amount which we have to pay or which we get on borrowing the money or on depositing the money respectively. So we already know how to calculate the simple interest. In class 7th in the chapter comparing quantities, you have understand how to find simple interest. Simple interest is the interest in which the principal remains same every year. The principal does not change. Principal means the amount which is borrowed. And how do we find the simple interest? There was this formula P into R into T upon 100. Using this formula, you were calculating simple interest. And how much is the amount we have to pay at the end? So that you can find by adding the simple interest and the principal. This is what you have studied in class 7th. Now in class 8th, you have to learn about the compound interest. Children, compound interest is similar to simple interest. In this also, if we borrow some money, we have to give the extra interest, we have to give the extra amount, the interest. But in compound interest, the process of calculating the compound interest is quite little different. And in this, the principal keeps on changing every year. Okay? First year the principal is different, second year the principal is different, because every year the interest is added to the principal, and that becomes the new principal. Okay, I'll explain you through an example. Okay, suppose there is a person, suppose Saurabh. Okay, he has borrowed some money. Suppose he has borrowed 20,000 rupees from bank. Okay, and the rate of interest is 8% and the time period is 2 years. Okay, so now we will calculate simple interest and compound interest, both the things for Saurabh. Okay, if the interest is calculated on the simple interest, now let's see how do we find the simple interest. We know the simple interest formula is P into R into T. P means principal, R means rate, time means 2 year, here T means time, upon 100. We will now multiply this 3200. Rupees 3200 is the simple interest for 2 years. Now how much is the amount which Saurabh has to pay at the end? He has to pay principal plus simple interest. Principal is 20,000 plus simple interest is 3,200. So he has to pay 23,200 rupees at the end. Okay, now let's find out if the interest is being calculated compoundedly. Okay, so let's find that if there is a compound interest, how do we find it? Now in this case, compound interest, first of all, we will find the simple interest for the first year, because there are 2 years. So first we will find for the first year. Now here in this PRT, P here we will write as P1 because it is for the first year, rate and time upon 100. Now how much is the principal? 20,000 rupees. Rate is 8% and time. Now time will not be written as 2 years because every year the interest is going to be different. So we will first calculate for the first year. Okay, this is for the first year. Okay, now let's find out how much it is. 2 into 8, 1600 into 1, 1600. So 1600 rupees is the interest for the first year. Now if this is the interest, how much is the amount in the first year? So that is principal plus simple interest, 20,000 plus 1600 21,600 rupees he has to pay at the end of first year. Okay, but he has not taken it for 1 year. He has taken the amount for 2 years. Okay, so now for the second year, what change will be there? For second year, this amount which is at the end will become the principal for the second year. Okay, now to calculate the simple interest for the second year, we will have P2. P2 means principal 2. And how we will get this P2? We will get this P2 by adding the amount, the principal and the interest of the first year, which was the amount. Now the amount here will become the principal for the second year. This is the change. Okay, for first year we have calculated using the formula of simple interest. Now for the second year, what change will be there? The principal is going to be changed. It is not going to be 20,000 now. Now it will be 21,600 rupees. Okay, so we will put here 21,600 rupees into R is 8%. Time is going to be 1 year because this is second year. Second year is 1 year. Okay, one year, like this we calculate. Now cancel these two zeros. 216 is multiplied by 8 and we get 1728. This is the interest for the second year. Okay, can you see that the interest is changed? For the first year it was 1600, for second year it is 1728 rupees. Now what is the amount 2? This was the first amount at the end of the first year. Now this is the amount at the end of the second year. Now this you will get by adding the second principal and the second interest. That means 21,600 plus 1728, which is equals to 23328. Okay, so this is the amount which he has to pay at the end of second year. Okay, and if we see that only the interest, how much interest he has given? This is the first interest given, this is the second interest given. So what is the total interest given in the case of compound interest? So the total interest is 1600 plus 1728, which is equals to 3328. This is the interest. This is the total interest which is given. Now let's compare both the things, simple interest and compound interest. You can see that the amount at the end of the simple interest is 23,200. Here it is 23,328. It is different. It is extra he has to pay in the case of compound interest. And if you see the interest, here the interest was 3,200. Here the interest is 3,128. He has to give 128 rupees extra if the interest is calculated compoundedly. So this is how we calculate the compound interest for suppose 2 years like this. If suppose it is for 3 years, then what will happen? This amount will become principal for the next year, for the third year. Similarly, you keep on doing. But suppose if it is asked for 5 years, then you will do it 5 times. If it is asked for 4 years, you will do it 4 times. That will become very lengthy. So in the next video, I will explain you how to find out the compound interest using a very short formula. In the formula, you can directly put the values and you will calculate. You don't have to do such long process. You can do it very easily.